Howdy, 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 back at it again. Today's video going to cover Kimberly's can pokey in the corner. We're going to look at the offensive and defensive aspects of this. If you like this type of content, if you want to see more of it, leave a like in the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it in year 2. I'd really appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So, a couple things to note is we're going to be looking at this target combo into run slide. And the bomb strength that I use there is heavy punch. So the reason for that is if you see this, heavy punch goes a little bit further into the screen than light does. So that means a couple things. It means that here, that was heavy, Guile gets punished. If I do this with light bomb instead, it doesn't hit him. So that's one reason. Another thing is the fuse is a little bit longer, which has a couple side effects. First being, I can be a little bit late on this throw and still get the combo. If that was light bomb, the bomb would have exploded and I wouldn't get the combo. And the other thing is you just get a little more frame advantage on the back end. So let's look at the actual knockdown. So we end up being +3 here, which means we're perfect for throw versus strike. Once again, we get a combo out of the throw, looks something like this. We can cancel that into level 3 to do a little bit more damage. You'll notice it did 2265 before the super, so that's really not a ton of damage. That's one of the weaknesses of this character, remember, is that before she gets that level 3 install, her damage is a little bit lackluster. Her throw, for example, only does 1082 instead of 1200, okay? So, that's the throw situation, right? She gets a combo off of it, does 2200 damage. How about the strike? Well, I think the most common thing you're going to see is these 3 crouch jabs into light elbow, into pretty much the same ender as off the throw. You'll notice it actually does about 200 less damage than the combo from the throw. So it's not big damage, but what it is really good on block, because that blows up, and if you do it perfectly, there I was +17. If you do everything frame perfect, you end up +18, which obviously is pretty scary. She can, like walk up throw. She can try to shimmy, bait something. Or she can just be like, okay, I just want plus frames. And that was actually a block string with the drive rush medium punch because this one's on frame 17. So he can't actually mash in between this if you do it correctly, and then you're in throw range, put him on the ground, set up a throw loop. Or if you just want to chunk at drive gauge, you crouch heavy punch into like a run follow up or just into run step, and you do almost 2 bars of drive gauge, right? So Kim kind of has some liberties she can take in that situation. Now, how do we defend against that? Well, delay attack again is tempting, right? Because it gets you out of the throw and deals with this. Now, you're not going to get hit by the meaty, but of course you would still have to deal with this situation, try to figure it out, and we'll explore that in a little bit. But of course, that's a little scary, right? Because she can do stuff like that. And oh my goodness. There we go. Right, and all of a sudden, maybe you're eating 30% instead of 20% because she had the right read, which can be maybe a touch scary. I'm going to say if you have a lot of health, or if she isn't, she doesn't have meter, just taking the throw here is not the worst thing in the world. It does, 2200 damage. Really not that scary. Makes her use a can. She can't really loop the situation at all, in part because it's a resource, in part because she just doesn't get a knockdown with enough frame advantage to really set it up without sacrificing a lot of damage. So I'm going to say take the throw if you aren't really scared, if you have a lot of health, and then you're going to deal with these jabs with drive reversal. So you can just wait for the elbow and then drive reversal it. Pain can doesn't blow up. If she wants to be kind of tricky and only do 2 and then do the elbow, still doesn't matter. And if she only wants to do 1, okay, yeah, then drive reversal is a bad idea, but guess what? In that situation, whoops, forgot to turn the drive reversal off. In that situation, if she does this, the explosion doesn't cover the elbow, right? Because it's still unsafe. The only thing letting her do it is the explosion covers the punish window, right? But if she does it too early, you just back throw her, and now all of a sudden she's in the corner, she doesn't have a DP, you get to win the game. That's sort of the way I think about it. Now, another reason I think that holding down back is good is she doesn't have to meet you with crouch jabs, right? Here she doesn't get much damage, right? I said it was only 2,000. But if she meets with stand medium punch, she can get a ton. Right? That goes into level 3 for over 50%. That goes into level 2 for 45%. Right? All of a sudden, she can get a lot. And even if she doesn't feel like spending a ton of, super gauge, this only costs 1 drive meter. And she can cancel that and get like 3,300, right? So she gets like 1,000 more damage than she does from the throw follow-up. She gets, 1,300 more damage than she does from the light follow-up. And she's in a pretty good spot as well. Now, it's also good on block. Still gets, she's plus 19 now instead of plus 18. So she can, counter hit you mashing on block with an overhead. So you got to, be paying attention to that all of a sudden. You can't mash on reversal because the slide will catch you. And then, she gets to extend into whatever, and she can cancel into level 3. So she kind of gets to continue the pressure. If you're like, well, I'm just going to armor through it, she's safe and she can DI back, and I just need to start mashing DI more. There we go. So, she can get a DI punish combo. You can't really do a whole lot. Now, obviously, you can obviously DP, and that'll get you out of it. But she can also do stuff like this to keep it, to keep it tight or whatever, and then you can't DP, but you have to react to the run, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because she can also do stuff like this, and then she's still mega plus. So, just the idea is, okay, holding down back's not the worst thing in the world, because if you mash or try to jump out, she hits you with the medium punch instead. You're kind of in a bad situation, right? So defensively, against that, if you notice she's mixing it up between throw and medium punch, the thing that beats both of those, actually, is wake up drive reversal. Okay? So if she does medium punch or throw, wake up drive reversal just wins. If she does jab, she can block in time, and then she can punish. But if she's just mashing jab to get the chain, the wake up drive reversal will hit her. Of course, that's prone to neutral jumping or just blocking or whatever. And then she can get a combo off of it. But obviously no defensive option is perfect. It is a mix-up. But wake up drive reversal is a pretty decent option, especially if you're a character that doesn't have a DP. I think making her respect that is halfway decent. The combo she gets isn't tremendously scary. Again, it's probably not even do 50%, even if she has level 3. Now, some kind of funny setups she can do is canceling into light Tatsu off of this. So normally you see this is minus 30. If she does off of this setup, it's actually plus 1. So you can maybe rope-a-dope some people into going, oh, big punish, and then they just get counter hit or thrown or whatever. And then if they try to punish it after the Tatsu, the bomb blows up and they get hit. So they kind of oh, I have to wait for you to land, and then you're plus. So that's kind of a little bit of a goofy thing. Obviously, I think you could probably DI this. Nope. She was safe to that too. So you just have to kind of pay attention, know what you're looking at. I'm sure there's some stuff you could do there defensively. Obviously, she's only plus 1, so it's not even really that big of a deal. The other thing that I think is really funny is doing this OD run. So you'll notice that's not really a meaty, right? Guile can wake up with upside down kick and I get counter hit, but if they do block this, like if you know they're scared, it turns the kick follow-up into a +2 situation instead of -8. So once again, you sort of put them in the spot where it's like, okay, normally they would want to get a punish here. Now they can't, you throw them, right? So they push something slow, they get thrown. So basically it just turns this into something where you're a little more rewarded for going for the mix-up. It's sort of like what low-level players think the mix-up is. It sort of turns it into that, you know, where it's like, oh, if you want to mash or jump, I'll just press kick. And that's actually bad because it's punishable, but here it's not. So it sort of turns the mix-up into what you think it is when you first pick up the character, if that makes sense. And of course, if you're on defense in that situation, just mash. You know, like I said, hit a heavy, hit a medium, drivers cancel something. Wake up drive reversal will also win. So it's not very hard to deal with. It's just you have to be paying attention a little bit. So hopefully this is helpful. As always, have a good time.